one, of course, number one is protecting taxpayers. Number two is making sure Congress does their job. And number three, eliminating the conflict of interest that we can see sometimes down in Washington, D.C. So, as I've had success on Beacon Hill in the past with, for example, getting an amendment into a sexual harassment bill, I was able to mirror what was done in Washington, where we stopped the slush funds for congressional members who had committed sexual harassment, had lawsuits, and there was that slush fund to pay it out. I was able to get an amendment passed up on Beacon Hill to make sure that no payouts would be at the taxpayer's expense for any misdoings by legislators on Beacon Hill. So that's the kind of work I want to continue to do down in Washington, D.C., is make sure that we stop the abuse of power in some cases, and of course, stop Congress from financially benefiting themselves. They're supposed to be down there for a calling, not a career, and not profiting from being in office. So first of all, I want to close the Warren loophole by requiring that all loans and or lines of credit be disclosed on financial disclosure forms. The ethics forms that are used to run for U.S. Senate, I've filled them out, but evidently there's a $1.3 million line of credit that Senator Warren has not disclosed. So I think that needs to be a loophole that is closed so that we know exactly what she's earning and where the money's going. I had to disclose that information, and I think all candidates for office should have to do that, whether you're the incumbent or the challenger. I also want to get rid of the special exemption that Congress has that exempts themselves from things like the Affordable Care Act. I think that anything that Congress passes, the people have to live under, Congress members should also be living under as well. So we want to eliminate those special exemptions. I also think there should be a 10-year cooling off period for any congressional member who wants to then lobby federal agencies or even their family members. So I think that cooling off period is appropriate. We have a cooling off period if you serve on Beacon Hill here in Massachusetts, and I think we should have the same type of cooling off down in Washington as well. Actually, a more extensive and thorough cooling off of 10 years. And finally, I would just say this.